first night back was pretty eventful. So when it came to our first morning back in Honolulu from the Big Island, we just went to go grab some breakfast before it was time to actually board our cruise ship where we would spend the next, I believe, 5 or 6 days on. We tagged our bags because they were very nice and took it up to our rooms. And then we actually started the boarding process. We got all our paperwork pretty quickly, and then it was time to actually enter the ship. Honestly, the organization was really nicely done, very well, especially compared to other places. And then we had to check in with like our section for our cabins, and then we went to go grab some lunch, which was absolutely delicious, especially the desserts. Like, I still miss this till this day. After lunch, our cabins were ready to be checked into, so we decided to leave any extra unnecessary things there. And honestly, they were on the smaller side, but that was to be expected. And it's not like any one of us was going to spend any extra time besides like sleeping, so it was very comfortable. And then we went and took a tour around the cruise ship and checked out its facilities. My sisters and I visited the kids in the teen rooms while my parents went to the gym and the spa. And let me just tell you that the teen room gave me one of the best experiences probably of my entire life. I have so much love for everyone that I met there, the memories that we had. I will literally cherish it forever. I know it sounds pretty cheesy, but it was just so much fun. By sunset, everyone gathered around the top decks, and I'm honestly so glad that I got this footage of the actual cruise ship, because I think after that I don't really show what it looks like. So it was so pretty. There were 3 or 4 top decks, and the pool area, there were a few bars, breakfast places, the gym, the spa, all of that stuff. And it was just so nice to be able to watch Oahu and the beautiful Honolulu landscape as we were moving off onto our next adventure. The next morning, we were in Maui, docked in Kahului, and we went to the local airport to go grab our rental car, which we had to take this like cute little trolley to get to. And basically for the rest of the day, we were just driving around, stopping at scenic viewpoints, and it was just so beautiful. I literally cannot explain how Hawaii makes me feel. Like, I want to go back every single day. I miss it so much, and it's like the most peaceful, most surreal experience that I think I've ever had in my entire life. Our first official stop was in Kaanapali, I really hope that I'm saying that right, where these very interesting trails that people were kind of struggling to overcome led to these blowholes in the ground where basically whenever a big wave came up, there was water that would just like swoosh in and create something. I feel like that kind of looks like what a whale does from a hole in the ground. It was very beautiful to observe, but I decided not to hike down because it looked like that would be very tiring, and I also had 4 other people waiting on me, so I just decided to observe from afar. This scenic lookout was probably one of my favorites. I have a photo that I took on film here and it looks so beautiful. Also, the color of the water still shocks me to this day. We drove around a lot, however we did go back to the cruise ship for lunch. My family and I absolutely love sunsets, so we decided to drive up to Haleakala from our cruise after lunch to see the sunset, and it took us about 2.5 hours to drive up and then another 30 to 45 minutes just trying to get in, but it was so worth it. And I know that I use cereal a lot, but just this entire feeling was so peaceful and the entire scene looks like a painting. Our second day in Maui, we drove around the Hana Highway and stumbled upon these waterfalls that were so pretty. This bridge reminded me of something from like a little movie scene, and it was just so nice. So June 20th and June 21st, we were back on the Big Island. I decided to give the other islands their moment in this vlog because I have a full first part all about the Big Island, and I didn't really film anything here. This is the only clip that I got. However, the following day we were coming back from Kona on the Big Island and we saw these dolphins that I thought were so cute. I also got a new film camera there. I fast forward to, what is it right now, March? I still haven't gotten it fixed. It's a Canon AE for anyone interested in cameras, and I was just so happy. I got it from like a little local shop. Cutest man ever. Very grateful that I was able to purchase it and bring it back to Miami. The following day we made it to Kauai. Honestly, it is insanely underrated in my opinion. It was my sister's favorite island. We saw a little helicopter in between the canyons, and then my dad actually surprised us with a little helicopter tour. Could go from like rainy, foggy, cloudy, all that stuff, to clearing up right before your eyes. Mind you, none of these videos are sped up. They're also unedited, and I think that the colors are very desaturated for what it actually looked like in real life. I have a lot of film photos from Kauai in case anyone's interested. They're all up on my Instagram, and I just still can't believe that I captured those. Flying over the Kauai coastline was the most beautiful experience of my entire life. I think that the structure of these mountains and canyons and valleys and the colors are so insane. Like, I don't even believe that this place exists. I think that it just, like, it's made up, it's drawn, it's painted, I don't know. But it is actually real, and this helicopter tour really allowed us to get to look at all the different parts that you can't even access through a car or like by walking. Our second day on Kauai was unfortunately our final full day on the cruise ship and traveling around these islands. I fell absolutely in love with this road because of the arch that the trees create. And then we saw this cute little train as we were driving into town. Unfortunately, I don't have any footage of that, but we did get to look at this beautiful island from the water because our cruise kind of went around it. I think that I speak for everyone when I say that we were all a little bit heartbroken to be off the ship and back in reality. However, we decided not to waste the day. Given that we were back in Honolulu, we drove up to the north part and we discovered the cutest little shop. I'm telling you, this coconut water was insane, and I got this ginormous pineapple smoothie that I literally dream about. I kid you not, this was the best thing that I've ever tried in my entire life. My goal this summer was to try to get out of my comfort zone, and my dad definitely made that possible. So to kind of conclude our Hawaii trip and make our time in Honolulu and just in Oahu as bright as possible, we decided to go scuba diving, which I've never done before. I was in the trenches during training. I was genuinely about to die, but they had to teach me how to breathe underwater through like a little tube. I could not stop thinking about the germs, so it was very difficult, and I was definitely very close to panic mode a few times, but overall it was pretty fun. My sister actually didn't end up going, but my dad and I had a lot of fun, and I'm so sad that the footage that we got on the GoPro got lost because we can't find the SD card. But then on our way back we saw these surfers, so the next few days we decided to look at some surf schools to see if maybe we can try to get on that, because imagine how cool it is to start surfing in Hawaii. Oh, and then we went to this like rock hula show, which was very interesting to say the least. The next few days, my sisters and my mom and we spent surfing in the mornings. I'm not a fan of cold water, and I'm also not a fan of early mornings. However, this was, again, me trying to get out of my comfort zone, break patterns. First, they taught us how to stand on the board on land, then we tried it in the water, and then this is probably my favorite video ever. I know that we look a little bit silly, but this is my sister and I catching the same wave. I'm telling you, I can't even believe that my dad caught that from his drone. I think that this is great, like, should be in a movie. Our last few days in Hawaii looked pretty much exactly like this. We would surf in the mornings and then we would just drive around Oahu, trying to stay away from Honolulu, honestly, because it was very touristy and we kind of got to know everything in the first couple of days. It was so bittersweet driving around these local markets, local neighborhoods, and just seeing the scenery and this landscape and the beautiful nature of Hawaii, not knowing when the next time that we'd come back was. So I was just trying to, I guess, live in the moment, or at least trying to, and just trying to capture all the beautiful details of this beautiful island. Our last full day in Hawaii was very improvised. We really tried to look for some local spots that might be interesting. However, when we searched up springs and waterfalls, this is what we drove to. So I decided not to test the reliability of that bridge. And I guess we kind of drove around some more before heading back to Honolulu. And we booked a parasailing trip, which was so surreal. I think that it was just so beautiful to see everything from above. It really puts things into perspective. And it was just the perfect way of ending our trip, since this was basically the last Hawaiian sunset that we were able to see. And again, it was just so bittersweet.